And so when you go to the west, may God have mercy on your soul. Today on In the Woodyard, I'm here with Kevin. He's a firewood guy, and he's from Californication State. He's going to tell us some interesting stuff.
Correct.
Here we go. So Kevin here is originally from California.
Correct.
And I feel sorry for him, but I'm glad you're here. Glad you got out of there.
That's right.
And you were telling me about the almond trees.
Correct. The almond orchards that are out there. They're vast, and the almond is a great firewood.
Right. It's like 32.9 million BTUs.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It dries relatively fast, 1 year. You know, it lasts forever. It doesn't rot, kind of like your oak.
Right.
And it used to be the orchards, when they wanted the orchards removed, the farmers would just put a sign up, and you could go and cut as much as you want whenever you wanted, you know, and then eventually they would just pile up whatever's left.
And when you say orchards, these are trees that there's no brush around them, and you can drive right up to them.
They're just in rows, you know, long rows, you know, hundreds in a row, and you just pick a row and you start working down it. Yeah.
No kidding. Did you get a lot of wood from a tree? Like, what's a big one?
Half a cord per tree.
So really, that's a nice size.
Yeah.
A lot of limbs, or
So when we would cut the trunks were pretty good, and then the limbs, and you just cut down whatever you want, and we'd just leave the small stuff. Whatever you want. We used to cut down to your normal size, you know, and then but you could get half a cord of tree. Yeah.
Wow, that's nice. So when you were doing that, it was free.
Correct.
You cut as much as you want.
Correct.
Were you selling any of the wood, or was it just for personal use?
We were personal, and then we'd always sell on the side too. You know, we'd always cut as much as we want, and then whatever's extra, depending on how much we cut that year, you know, we'd sell, and we'd keep 5 a cord for ourselves, you know, and then we usually keep a couple cord for the following year, and we'd sell probably maybe 10 or 15 cord a year, you know, on top of that. Out there, the wood price back then, we were getting like $200, $250 a cord for it.
For a full cord?
For a full cord. We only sold full cord.
And so how long ago was that?
That was probably 6-7 years ago.
Oh, really? So that's actually pretty low. I would have guessed higher price than that in California.
There's not that big of a demand for firewood out there.
Now, you were saying, that's right, because it doesn't get cold. But so you were saying you were more in the valley area, right?
In the central part of California, almost the exact center of California,
And so when you go to the west, may God have mercy on your soul. When you go there, there's a bigger market, more people.
Correct. Like if you go into the cities, you can get like a campfire market, you know, or the coast. You go to the coast, there's a lot of vacation places, you know. But if we're actually heating the homes, not many people use fireplace. And even if you do, you're only heating for 4 or 6 weeks a year.
Right, and that's more to the north in the mountain areas too?
The mountains, the mountains are drastically more, you know. In the valley, still people do heat in the rural areas, you know. But a lot of it is more like you sell for, like ambiance, you know, that a lot of that kind of stuff.
For drinking beer.
Yeah, that's right.
That's most, a lot of people.
Yeah, out west, it's not for heat.
Yeah. Well, that's most of my customers. And for me, it's selling fireplace people in the wintertime where they want to sit by the fireplace, which is great. And now, so they're doing the ambiance thing, so it's more for like party kind of wood kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then, is there any other kind of wood you were selling? Was it just the almond?
Almond is by far the most popular. Almost like how oak is back here. You get oak snobs, you know. You get almond snobs out there because it's a premium wood. There's a lot of pines in the in the mountains and the forests. You get a lot of ponderosa, your firs, your sugar pines. But people don't really want those. You know, they want almond wood because it's such a premium wood. You know, so the market is 90% almond, I would say.
Most nut trees produce very good firewood.
Correct.
I should say all of them. I don't know of any nut tree that doesn't produce good firewood. I had a guy that watches my channel. I'm sorry I can't remember your name because this was like over a year ago. Watches my channel and said, I'm going to send you some presents. So he sent me 2 5-pound boxes of almonds because he's an almond grower. He sells for, I think it was Fisher, if I remember right.
There's a lot of packers out there, a lot of large packers. There's probably half a dozen within the whole state there that pack millions of pounds of almonds a year. You know. And
now I heard, this is someone that's not in the industry, that's the reason why there's a lot of water shortage, because a lot of the water goes towards the almond trees and the nut trees.
There's a great debate about that. You start a war.
Well, that's what I've heard.
About that
I don't want to start a war. I've heard that.
There's a lot of water. Farming does use a lot of water. The trees do. You know, everything does to grow. But there's so much water that's wasted out there too. You know, they send so much down the rivers. You know, the environmentalists do to try to save fish, to try to save other things.
It's a complicated issue. I mean, I see all sides of it. I mean, the people that like the wilderness want the wilderness to be wilderness, and the people that want to use it to make a living, you can't blame them.
Right, and then the cities. You know, there's so many people out there. The cities take a demand on water
there's
too.
a lot of toilets to flush.
That's right. So there's. I mean, you start that debate out there. It is. It's endless.
Yeah,
it's endless.
And with their politics out there, I can't imagine what that must be like. So now you're glad to not be there anymore.
Correct. I'm in America now, the Midwest.
So how long have you been here?
About 10 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So now you're in Minnesota.
Correct.
And now do you cut wood and sell wood here?
I do. I put a fireplace in my garage. My house does not have one. I have a propane furnace in my house,
Sure.
but my garage has a freestanding stove that I use for heating in the winter. And then I've been cutting the last couple of years, getting my inventory up to start selling this year to try to get more.
Yeah, that's the one thing people don't realize with firewood is you can't just go cut it and sell it. Like a lot of products, you can buy your raw materials, produce it, sell it. You're talking a year.
That's right. Yeah.
To 2 years. Yeah, especially if you're getting, oak. It takes a couple of years if you're cutting it bigger. That's where, like, I try to split it smaller so I can turn the inventory.
Yeah. And I didn't want to start advertising and really pushing it until I had a decent amount of inventory to start with.
You'll never have enough.
Yeah, I know. I believe that. I really do. And
you'll sell everything you produce, and then you wish you had more.
I wish I had more time to cut it. I enjoy it.
Oh, I do too.
I really do wish I had more time to run chainsaws. And I do most of my cutting in October, November, December.
Right. Yeah, it's nice to cut when the cold months so that you get something to get outside and get some fresh air.
Let the bugs get out of there too.
Oh yeah, that's the worst thing about the summertime is especially like if you're splitting in the evening, sometimes you just got to quit because you're getting eaten alive. That's a bad thing about Midwest. That you didn't probably have so much in California is bugs.
No, but there's no green in California either. So this time of year, everything's brown and dead. It's dried up. It's already completely brown. So you come back here, it's green, it's beautiful. It's like a lot of my family comes back and visits, and that's the first thing they drastically notice is there's no brown anywhere.
And the people are nice, and we have beer and cheese, so you got that.
Yeah. The people are nice. That's the big thing.
Oh, yeah.
That if you grow up in different places, you come back here, you notice it stands out right away. The people are nice, much more easygoing. Slower pace.
Well, but I think different areas of California probably have more people that aren't the city.
Yeah, like we're in a rural area, a farming area. It's pretty. I consider it the best area left in California. Right. But the problem is, for the last 20 years, everybody who has been leaving. You know what I mean?
They want to get out.
They want to get out.
Kind of like New York. A lot of the people in New York, if they say they're from New York, but not the city. Northern, upstate, they say, because they don't want to be associated with.
That's correct. Yeah, same thing in California. People often ask me where I'm from. I always tell them from Minnesota. I try not to mention California at all anymore.
You don't want to get.
I don't want to go down that road.
You don't want to get in trouble right away. Well, that's really cool. So, what's your goals for your business? Do you want to do a firewood stand? Do you want to do delivery? Do you want to do all the above?
I'm right now. I'm looking at doing strictly delivery, similar to you. Small, third of a cord. Base cord mounts. Premium amount, deliver straight to the house for their fireplace, for their fire pits. I'm trying to specialize in that. There's a lot of guys in my area that do bulk. We have a lot of outdoor boilers, that do bulk, large sale, and the price is so cheap, I don't even want to mess with it.
Right, and I don't really want to either. I mean, my brother does a lot of that. He sells to a lot of people for heating, and the problem with that is generally those people are doing it to save money. So they want to get the best deal possible. Not that you can't make money doing it, but you got to turn over more inventory.
Volume, and I don't have the time or for the volume, and so I'm cool with doing 10, 20 cords a year, delivering a third of the time.
That's what I said in the beginning, and it ended up being hundreds because it just kept growing. Because you get people calling, hey, can you bring me a full cord? I got that left. Can you bring me another one a month later? And then you're thinking, I got to cut more wood. More wood. So it snowballs, and all of a sudden you create a beast. Be careful what you wish for, because about 8 years ago I was splitting wood by hand, and I thought, man, I wish I could do this a couple hours every day. I love doing this. It's good exercise. It's fun, and now it's all the time.
I believe it.
So it just grew, but that's really cool.
I'll have to get me a big processor like you.
Well, I don't know if you want that either. I mean, they're cool. You could make a lot of wood fast. How many acres do you got? What kind of acreage for your
10
wood?
10 acres.
Oh yeah, you could get a couple processors in there.
Oh yeah.
And you own it, all the land, or is it?
Correct.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you got plenty. And is it zoned so you can do whatever you want there?
Yeah. So I've never had any issues with
this.
Oh
man, and you got a lot of trees on it now, or?
No, I try. I have decent amount. I try not to cut as much as I can there.
Right.
I have other places I cut, and I'd rather cut other people's trees and save my own.
Let yours grow.
Yeah, I try not to, and there's plenty of places down there. The farmers, they have hedgerows. There's lots of elm in my area.
Right.
Lots of elm.
Satanwood.
Yeah, it's terrible split, but it's good firewood, and it's free. And I mean, there's a place where I'm cutting now. The guy has probably 10,000 trees he wants taken out.
All elm?
All elm.
Wow.
All of them are elm. There's hedgerows, and it's open to everybody, and there's probably 20 or 30 guys that go out there every winter and cut, and we take out about one hedgerow every winter, and he's got about 9 or 10 of them all together.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So it's a farmer, I'm guessing?
It's a farmer, yeah.
Yeah, because the trees get so big, what happens is it shades so much,
field,
and they're losing 50, 100 feet on both sides. They're not growing any crops.
Right.
They want the trees gone.
Yeah, and I actually go, man, why are you not just taking it out professionally, having it done? And he said they quoted him to take $100,000 to take all the trees out and remove them. And he said, I'll just have the firewood guys do it for me, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to do it.
Yeah. I've done quite a bit of that over the years, getting free wood from farmers. And that's a great place to get wood. The problem is like you say, it's not always the ideal wood.
Right.
Around my area, it's a lot of cottonwood. I've gotten quite a bit of ash, quite a bit of aspen, stuff like that. A few cherry trees here and there, a few oak trees here and there. So you take what you can get.
That's just it. You know, it's free and it's available as much as I want. The Almond, it's not the greatest, but it's not the worst.
It's a good way to start a business, though, is to get some free wood, get your inventory built up, and then go from there. So what do you got for a splitter?
Right now I just have a, I have 2 splitters. I have a Yard Max, you know, the commercial, and I actually have a bigger one. It's a 35-ton, similar commercial box store splitter. I'm looking to upgrade as I get going here, but I'm waiting until a point where I get big enough where I can upgrade to. I really, really love the Axis. Yeah, I really would like an Axis. I love the platform, standing up, working on it, and so I'm going to just wait until I get to a point where I'm absolutely maxed out, where I can jump to that level.
What I would recommend is it's not going to take you long to get there. Order one now, because it'll take a year to get it. Produce as much wood as you can now. As soon as you get that Axis, sell the other 2, put it towards the Axis, and you'll probably be wishing you ordered one sooner.
You're probably right.
I mean, it doesn't take that. It doesn't. For me, and from what I found out, the worst thing I did was waited too long to order a faster splitter.
Sure, and I can see that,
It's just so much faster. And with my Ultra, I mean, I can split 3 times as much wood as I could with box store splitter.
I know, I see it on your videos. It is very fast.
It pumps the wood out fast. Whether you've got Axis, or if you've got an Ultra, or if you get a 1222, but speed is everything.
Sure.
Power is not as important as speed.
Right.
That's my opinion.
I think you're right. And the Axis, I've always been a fan of vertical splitters. I like the working deck. I like standing up. You know, the log grip. I'm a big fan.
I originally wanted to get a power split, which is out of Canada, and that's why Andrew kind of made the Axis, because it was somewhat a competitor, and he knew he could do a better version. His is way better built, and is way more powerful.
I keep waiting for you to take Tony's Axis up to your Kinney's yard and work on some of that big wood.
We're talking about it. It's just a matter of time. I mean, because I like you, I work all the time. Yeah. I mean, I just don't have any free time to do that. And Kenny's splitter is just painful to watch and work with. I mean, but for him it works. And he's not in it to get rich. He's not in it to produce a lot more wood. But he'd be happier if he had a better. He did just buy a really good dump trailer though, so he's got that now, and still got that little baby tractor though.
Sure, little green one.
Well, thanks a lot for talking. That was awesome. Thanks for coming to the good part of the country here and come to the Frenzy. So that's it for today, folks. You know what to do. Poke the buttons, hit them all, hit the like, subscribe, share. Tomorrow I'll be back in the wood yard doing work at 5:30 a.m. You're going to watch that, because that's what you got to do in the morning when you're having your coffee, or if you're doing your work in the office, as I call it. Don't forget to turn the fan on. And I have 700 videos. If you get bored, you can go watch those. That's it for today, folks. What do we say at the end of the videos?
Good night, Irene.
There you go.